Imagine for a moment, you walking through a vast field, lost, without direction. The feeling of being alone, vulnerable, is almost palpable. But suddenly, you feel the gentle touch of welcoming arms, a safe refuge that envelopes you with tenderness and strength. This is the embrace of our Good Shepherd. In Isaiah 40:11, we are reminded of something so precious: He will gather the lambs in His arms. Isn't that a powerful image? We are those lambs, fragile, vulnerable, often lost and unsure of where to go. And Jesus, the loving shepherd, gathers us with utmost care, in His own time, without demands. He shows no favoritism between the strong and the weak. Each of us, with our vulnerabilities and imperfections, is equally loved and cared for by Him. Let's reflect for a moment. The lambs, the weakest of the flock, often lag behind. They wander off, become lost, and tire more quickly than the others. How many times have we felt the same? Exhausted, confused, as if we're falling behind while others seem to advance effortlessly. But here's the point I want you to grasp. Jesus does not forget any of us. He looks at us with compassion, with a gaze that sees beyond our weakness, beyond our failures. He sees our worth. When we are on the brink of fainting, when our faith hangs by a thread, He arrives. Not merely to observe from a distance, but to lift us in His powerful arms, where we find strength. He nourishes us when we are weak, gives us vigor when our souls seem to falter. And what's truly remarkable is that He does this personally. Jesus, the shepherd who is King of Kings, could delegate this task. He could easily send angels to care for us. But He doesn't. He chooses, with His own love, to rescue us. He bends down to where we are and carries us back in His arms. This is the Jesus we know, who not only gives us direction but walks alongside us, carrying us when we can no longer walk. Think of the times you were on the verge of giving up. Moments when everything seemed to crumble, when loneliness and fatigue felt unbearable. But then, something changed. An invisible touch, an inexplicable peace, a strength you didn't know where it came from. That was the Good Shepherd, gathering you, protecting you, restoring you. I wonder, and you may wonder too, how can I not love Him with all my being? How can I not desire to live a life that magnifies His name throughout the earth? He, who is the faithful shepherd, who gathers me when I am most lost, who never tires of rescuing me. If His love for me is so profound, then the least I can do is surrender everything I am to Him. Yet, I also recognize my weakness. How small and flawed I am in the face of such love. How many times do I stray? How many times do I falter, even knowing He is always there, ready to bring me back? The truth is, no matter how much I wish to repay Him, I will always feel it insufficient in light of the greatness of what He does for me. Jesus, our great shepherd, invites us to trust in Him, not just in moments of joy, but especially in times of pain. He is the one who, with His tender heart, cares for the weak, for those on the verge of fainting. He bends from heaven to gather us, to remind us that we are precious in His sight. And now, if you feel this message has touched you, I invite you to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss reflections like this. Your engagement is vital for reaching more people with this transformative word. The most beautiful thing is that Jesus' care isn't limited to isolated moments in our lives. Since our conversion, He has guided us, restored us whenever we strayed. How many times have we felt His hand guiding us back to the safety of His arms? And even when we feel unworthy, He welcomes us back with love. He does this because we are His. He will never abandon us, no matter how many times we need to be rescued. What's truly amazing is that He doesn't just care for us, He also promises that none of His lambs will be lost. Isn't it wonderful to know we are safe in His hands? Even when the world presses down upon us, even when fear tries to dominate us, we can rest assured that the Shepherd will never leave us alone. He is our strength amid weakness. So, my friend, may you feel that peace that comes from the Good Shepherd today. May the certainty that He carries you in His arms give you the strength to move forward, regardless of the circumstances. And may the desire to love and serve Jesus grow ever stronger in your heart, just as it does in mine. And thus, we come to the end of another reflection, but the feeling that lingers in our hearts is one of pure gratitude. Gratitude for having such a caring shepherd, who knows us by name, who sees every tear we shed, every smile that blossoms amid life's storms. He is the one who doesn't merely watch from afar, but draws near, bends down, and lifts us with His hands marked by sacrifice. Have you ever stopped to think about the beauty of this? The King of the universe, the one who holds the stars in their places, is the same who holds our hand when we feel we can't go on. He is not hurried, He doesn't rush us, but guides us at a pace filled with compassion and patience. He knows exactly where it hurts, where we are broken, and with indescribable tenderness, He heals every wound. When we think of Jesus as this shepherd, it's hard not to be moved. He knows us better than we know ourselves. He understands the battles we fight in silence, the fears we keep buried deep within, the prayers we utter when no one else is around. And the most beautiful thing is that He responds. He responds not only with words but with acts of love, with His constant presence, even when we don't perceive it. Perhaps you are going through one of those moments right now. Maybe the weight of life feels heavier than ever, and you feel you can't go on. If this is the case, I want to remind you of one thing. Jesus is there with you. He has never abandoned you and never will. Even when everything seems to crumble, He is by your side, carrying you. In the hardest moments, He is the closest. It's then that He extends His arms and gathers us like fragile, yet beloved lambs. And you know, His love for us does not change. The entire world may turn upside down, but the love of Jesus for you remains the same. He has loved you from the beginning, and this love knows no end. He is faithful to fulfill all His promises, to lead you along paths of peace, even when the way seems dark and full of stones. And when we stumble, He is there, ready to lift us up. Think about it. How many times have you fallen? How many times have you thought you had no more strength? And yet, here you are, standing firm, moving forward. This is no coincidence. This is His care, the Good Shepherd, carrying you when your feet can no longer walk, comforting you when your heart is in pieces, and renewing you when your soul is weary. This is the Jesus who loves you. Now, I want to ask you something. If this message has touched your heart, if in some way you felt God's care through these words, please like and subscribe to the channel. This helps immensely in reaching more people, and together we can continue spreading the love of Jesus around. And of course, turn on notifications so you won't miss any content. Every day we are here, bringing words of hope and faith to strengthen your spirit. Returning to our reflection, I want you to hold on to this truth. You are not alone. Even in the darkest nights, even when it seems no one understands you, the Shepherd knows your pain. He sees you. And more than that, He is working, tending to every detail, preparing you for something greater. Sometimes, it may seem we are too far gone, that we've strayed so much there's no way back. But Jesus specializes in rescuing those who have lost their way. He leaves the 99 to go after a single sheep, and if you feel like that sheep today, know that He is coming to find you. He will not give up on you. I want to conclude with a prayer, because I know your heart may need it right now. Perhaps you need to feel that embrace of the Good Shepherd, and I believe He is ready to welcome you in this moment. Lord Jesus, we thank You for Your great